Jai, Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Padma Pari Pajakacharya. Astatir Sati Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Paramhamsa Pari Pajakacharya. Astatir Sati Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jita Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Agyana Tinirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Haribol, all these songs that we sing all year even, like Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita, Shri Vishakami, everything becomes more close in Kartik. And it reminds me, tonight is supposed to be what's called a supermoon. Of course, this is the last day of Kartik, so that's a little sad, but, well, I'm speaking about Kartik, it reminds me because the moon is closest. It's very close to the earth. So it appears to be larger than normal. But in the same way, in Kartik, it is as though everything of the extreme divinity is a little closer. It's, and much more accessible, much more is being extended to us in a very wondrous way. So Kartik is so lovely and important for us to bow down to this particular wonderful dispensation, this generosity of this holy time. Haribol, Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrta Ki Jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnu Padesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Haribol, Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda.
Jai. So we're continuing to read the Adi Lila, chapter 4, the confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance. And Mahaprabhu was speaking, or Krishna is speaking. And we've just read this. The influence of Yoga Maya will inspire the gopis with the sentiment that I am their paramour. Amihana janitahana jane gopikana tuhara rupa gune tuhara nitya hare mana. Neither the gopis nor I shall notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty and qualities. And again, we read this yesterday. How under the influence of Yoga Maya, neither Krishna nor the Braja Gopis are noticing that there's some arrangement, that there's the feeling that the husbands are there. And this is something there's some intrigue that has to happen, and so many pastimes exist around this. But they are absorbed in each other's inconceivably wonderful qualities and transcendental beauty. Under the spell of the material energy, those under the spell of the material energy cannot at all appreciate the activities of Yoga Maya. For a conditioned soul can hardly understand the pure reciprocation between the Lord and his devotee. But by executing devotional service under the regulated principles, one can become very highly elevated and then begin to appreciate the dealings of pure love under the management of Yoga Maya.
Didi, what text are we at?
This is text number 30 of the fourth chapter.
Thank you.
In the spiritual loving sentiment induced by Yoga Maya potency, both Sri Krishna and the damsels of Braja forget themselves in spiritual rapture. By the influence of such forgetfulness, the attractive beauty of the gopis plays a prominent part in the transcendental satisfaction of the Lord, and this has nothing to do with mundane sexual behavior. Nothing whatsoever. Couldn't possibly be more different. Because spiritual love of Godhead is above everything mundane, the gopis superficially seem to transgress the codes of mundane morality. So this is another problem with the Prakriti Sahajya group. They also, thinking they are so, I don't know what they're thinking, but suddenly they're on this high divine platform. They're thinking, and they also transgress the laws of morality, which keep everyone in a relatively safe position in this world. So they're really carving a path to hellish life. This perpetually puzzles mundane moralists. Mundane moralists are very puzzled by this. Therefore, Yoga Maya acts to cover the Lord and his pastimes from the eyes of mundaners, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says that he reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. So the first problem is the mundane, the mundane moralists. They're thinking that morality is all in all. But below them, far below them, are the Prakriti Sahajyas, who are giving up morality for a reprehensible purpose in the name of some kind of spiritual thing. It's too absurd to think about. The acts of Yoga Maya make it possible for the Lord and the gopis in loving ecstasy to sometimes meet and sometimes separate. These transcendental loving affairs of the Lord are unimaginable to the empiricists involved in impersonal feature of the absolute truth. They're thinking there's nothing going on. There's no nothing in perfection. There's no variety, no action, no nothing. Therefore, the Lord himself appears before the mundaners to bestow upon them the highest form of spiritual realization and also personally relish its essence. The Lord is so merciful that he himself descends to take the fallen souls back home to the spiritual kingdom of Godhead, where the erotic principles of Godhead are eternally relished in their real form, distinct from the perverted sexual love so much adored and indulged in by the fallen souls in their diseased condition. So very bravely, Srila Prabhupada is using the word erotic, because everything in a reflection exists in the original. An illusory form of something, there is the original form. So there is the principle of inconceivable love of God, but this is not to be figured out by anyone. This is something that we are worshiping. A person who actually understands what the Rasa Lila is will certainly hate to indulge in mundane sex life. For the realized soul, hearing the Lord's Rasa Lila through the proper channel will result in complete abstinence from any kind of sexual pleasure. So there's the proof. Somebody like Sukadev Goswami, who's describing these things in the 10th canto, he was completely celibate. He wouldn't even dream. He had no conception whatsoever of any kind of mundane life. Dharmachare rage dunhe karaye milana, kabu mile, kabu na mile, daive ragatana. Pure attachment will unite us even at the expense of moral and religious duties, dharma. Destiny will sometimes bring us together and sometimes separate us. Purport. The gopis came out to meet Krishna in the dead of night when they heard the sound of his flute. Srila Rupa Goswami has accordingly composed a nice verse, which is in the 5th chapter, that describes the beautiful boy called Govinda standing by the bank of the Jamuna with his flute to his lips in the shining moonlight. I wonder if it's Sriman Rasa Rasarambi 522. Oh. 522. Well, 522 is Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpa Viksha Lakshavateshu. Oh, see Adi Lila. So maybe it's in the purport. Okay, so sorry, I'm just very curious now. I want to see what this verse is. Oh, well, I don't want to take too much time here, but it will be probably in the purport to this verse. Very long purport. All right, how do you roll? That describes the beautiful boy called Govinda standing by the bank of the Jamuna with his flute to his lips in the shining moonlight. Those who want to enjoy life in the materialistic way of society, friendship, and love should not go to the Jamuna to see that form of Govinda. If you want to enjoy your material life, don't cast your eyes toward Govinda, who is wandering on the banks of the Jamuna with his flute to his lips. You'll be ruined. You'll forget material life.
It's giving you advice.
Huh?
It's giving you a good advice.
The sound of Lord Krishna's flute is so sweet that it has made the gopis forget all about their relationships with their kinsmen and flee to Krishna in the dead of night. By leaving home in that way, the gopis transgressed the Vedic regulations of household life. This indicates that when natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest, a devotee can neglect conventional rules, social rules, and regulations. In the material world, we are situated in designative positions only, but pure devotional service begins when one is freed from all designations. Do you follow what that means? So,
like duties, prescribed duties.
Well, and also we have designations. That means I'm a Brahmin, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a Vaishya, I'm a Sudra or less than Sudra. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a doctor, I'm a singer, I'm a whatever it is. All these designations that are not true about who we really are. They're temporary things. So he's saying, in pure devotional service begins when one is freed from all designations. That means he has realization of himself as a soul and the servant of the Lord. When love of Krishna is awakened, the designated positions are overcome automatically. When you can see something for what it is, then automatically seeing something for what it isn't is defeated. So although the jnanis, because they cannot accept Krishna, They can't accept that there's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's envy there. They take so much trouble to come to that non-differentiated position. But simply by practicing devotional service, all those false designations are automatically overcome, simply in the process of surrender. The spontaneous attraction of Sri Krishna for his dearest parts and parcels generates an enthusiasm that obliges Sri Krishna and the gopis to meet together to celebrate this transcendental enthusiasm. There is need of a sentiment of separation between the lover and the beloved. And this is natural. In the condition of material tribulation, no one wants the pangs of separation. That is a really painful, mundane feeling. But in the transcendental plane, it is relishable. But in the transcendental form, the very same separation, being absolute in its nature, strengthens the ties of love and enhances the desire of the lover to meet the beloved. It is a separation which is in its... So Srila Prabhupada is using the word absolute here. So in the absolute plane, everything is of a divine characteristic. So there's not like one thing is bad and one thing is good. The separation is also a type of union. But that type of union pulls the Krishna and the devotees together. And other forces create that separation again. So these are the transcendental nature of the pastimes of the Lord. But it is absolute in quality. The period of separation, evaluated transcendentally, is more relishable than the actual meeting, which lacks the feeling of increasing anticipation because the lover and the beloved are both present. So what is that anticipation? It is a feeling of increased devotion, increased love. It's not the anticipation of feeling of this plane, which is, which is the addict being separated from the thing he's addicted to. It's actually horrifically miserable. But unfortunately, addiction, when it is being served, only increases in its misery. So we all know these things, but we should remember that these things are absolutely opposite to one another. The divine position and the mundane position could not be more different. The reflection looks the same. That's the problem with the reflection. Eshavarasa niryasya kariba asada Dwari kariba shava bhaktera prasada. I shall taste the essence of all these rasas, and in this way I shall favor all the devotees. I shall taste the essence of all these rasas, and in this way I shall favor all the devotees who are with me in heart. They will also be so much favored by all my tasting all these things. So I wanted to say that so in that verse, no one who is feeling transcendental feelings for the Lord will want to engage in mundane conjugal thing. Mundane, we have to remember, it's not an activity. Mundane is an attitude. Mundane means I am the enjoyer, and everything exists for me to enjoy. That's what mundane is. This thing exists for me, that exists for me. That exists for me, I should have it. I don't have it, oh, something's gone wrong. This is mundane. Not so, devotees may have any children or family or anything, but their attitude is different. It is for bringing auspicious children into the world and serving them like they are serving Vaishnavas. This is a very different mood, and also living together to help one another, to actually be friendly, to help one another in spiritual life. So there's nothing mundane there. Prajera nirmala raga shuni bhaktagana raga marke bhaje jena charidharma karma. Then by hearing about the pure love of the residents of Braja, devotees will worship me on the path of spontaneous love, abandoning all rituals of religiosity and fruitive activity. These are really fine points that we need to really study and learn carefully. What is mundane? What is religion? What is pure devotional service? The practice may be mixed with much vidya and sadhana, which on one level is not in itself the essence, but the essence may reside there. So we are trying to practice pure devotional service within our practice of many other regulated things, like keeping clean, like regulating our time, like involving our mind in responsible service. All these things, cleanliness, truthfulness, all these things which can be simply religious, can be also the structure for practicing deep devotional practice and surrender. So they're very important. Just like we have a temple here, a building is not the essence of a temple. A temple in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat is where the conclusions of devotional existence are being worshipped, spoken about, and shared with others. And the practice of serving the deity in that proper mood is also going on there. So all of these things have to be understood from the relative point of view and from the absolute point of view, and carefully. Any questions about any of that? Okay. Many realized souls, such as Raghunath Das Goswami and King Kulashekar, have recommended with great emphasis that one develop this spontaneous love of Godhead, even at the risk of transgressing all the traditional codes of morality and religiosity. That may come. We're not doing that unless that is... When the relative and the absolute come in conflict, then the absolute will be accepted. But when things are going well, when they're coinciding very well and helpfully and well, and that's not necessary to give up anything. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, has written in his prayers, called the Manashiksha, that one should simply worship Radha and Krishna with all attention. Na dharmang shruti gana niruktam kila kuru. One should not be much interested in performing Vedic rituals or simply following rules and regulations. That always applies. The rules and regulations in themselves are not the essence. They may be very favorable. And when they are no longer favorable, then one must step forward. King Kulashekar has written similarly in his book Mukundamala Stotra. I have no attraction for performing religious rituals or holding any earthly kingdom. This is a king. I do not care for sense enjoyments. Let them appear and disappear in accordance with my previous deeds. My only desire is to be fixed in devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord, even though I may continue to take birth here, life after life. See, I'm not even looking for liberation from birth and death. Let that happen. Whatever happens, let that all happen. I'm not paying attention. My focus is in devotional service. These are very interesting. I think of it as a tightrope. You don't want to go too far this way or too far that way. Our center is in practicing Sharanagati. Do your duty. Guru Maharaj said, this is the essence. Do your duty, and in the mood of surrender, offer everything to the Lord, and let Him give you the result. That will be the best result. The only favorable result. So all these things have to be considered in a very careful way. So I'm going to read the Sanskrit for this verse. Nashtadharme navasu nichaye naiva kamo pavoge yadbhavyam tad bhavatu bhagavan purva karmanurupam etat pratyam mama bahumatang janma janmantarepi tvat-padam boruhayuga gata nischala bhakti rastu. Jai King Kulashekar ki jai. And his famous verse, Krishna tadiya parapanka pankaja pancharantam. Krishna tadiya parapankaja pancharantam. Shitame manasa rajahansa prana prayama samaye patapa pita pitai. Oh, I have to review this. Dandavaro kido. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to rattle that verse off. I can't remember it. Anyway, this is a very famous, beautiful verse by King Kulashekar, the swan of my mind. Become entangled in the network of your lotus feet. When the end of my life comes in Vata, and Pitta, and Vayu, Vayu, Pitta, and I can't remember that. Anyway, when those three elements of earth and fire and air, when those get all disorganized, maybe I won't be able to remember you. So let me now enter into that labyrinth of your lotus feet. Kappa, Kapita. Yeah, Kapapata Pita. Okay. Anyway, Jai Shri Kulashekar Maharaj ki Jai. Okay, one more verse. Anugrahaya bhaktanam anusham deham ashitaha bhajate tadrishi krida ya shrutva tat paro bhave. Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and performs his pastimes to show mercy to his devotees. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him. Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and performs his pastimes to show mercy to his devotees. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him. How else would we know about Braja if Krishna doesn't personally come and show Of course, this is a text from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable expansions of its transcendental form, who eternally exists in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. This material world is only a perverted reflection of the spiritual world, where everything is manifested without inebriety. There, everything is in its original existence, free from the domination of time. Time cannot deteriorate or interfere with the conditions of the spiritual world, where different manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are the recipients of the worship of different living entities in their constitutional spiritual positions. So there are so many forms of Vishnu and Narayan, all Lord Narayan, in the Vaikuntha planet, so many forms, and they exist to reciprocate perfectly with the nature of the different souls. In the spiritual world, all existence is unadulterated goodness. The goodness found in the material world is contaminated by the modes of passion and ignorance. All right. So we can continue reading this purport tomorrow. Any questions at all?
What is the meaning of the word inebriety?
Inebriety. Well, when somebody is inebriated, it means that it usually refers to intoxication, when the mind is not working properly and the person is not seeing things properly, clearly. And that we want to do this to ourselves is quite astonishing, really. But that we do, but it also can refer to madness, like just it's not pure, not clear. But there's no inebriety in the transcendental plane. It's all full, pure goodness.
So clarity means being like drunk or intoxicated.
Yeah, or intoxicated with the three modes of material nature in this context, yeah. So I mean, we're practicing surrender, and through surrender we're sometimes clearly experiencing, oh, I was looking at this thing completely wrong. I was looking at this kind of thing. I was looking at it with the selfishness, with my vision covered with some kind of self-motive that I wasn't even aware of. But through your grace, you have arranged this circumstance, and by surrendering to you, I can see that all the trouble was caused by myself. That trouble, that vision of the thing being completely wrong, is called inebriation. It is, you can say, just like a drunk man, he can't see straight, you're not allowed to drive or operate, any kind of machinery, you can't function properly and you don't see things clearly. So that is a good word for this situation that we're in. Haribol, Jaya, Shri Chaitanya, Charitamrta ki, Jaya. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki, Jaya. Srila Om Vishnuvad, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Jaya.
Didi,
Okay.
It's about the stream. I'm watching the stream on my phone.
Right.
See how it looks.
Okay then. Jai Shri Upadesamrta ki Jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Inconceivable. Haribol. So page 287, and we're reading from the words of our Divine Master Srila Bhakti Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and of course by the grace of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The more I think about this, the more really I'm astonished astounded and astonished. Astoundished. Srila Prabhupada made that arrangement for us to go to Srila Guru Maharaj. It's just completely mind-boggling. It's chamatkar. Okay. At the bottom, second from the bottom paragraph. Jaya. The name Radha means aradhana, means worship, sacrifice. Sacrifice is great. Sacrifice is noble. And only sacrificed souls can live in the arena of divine love, where there is not a tinge of this black enjoying and exploiting tendency. Nothing, not an atom. It is absolutely absent. This egotistic, I'm the enjoyer. It is completely absent in that plane. It is so heart-touching. There is not a drop of that. Exploitation is black. Unbridled exploitation is the most heinous thing for us. The root of all disease. At the same time, sacrifice of infinite character holds the highest position. Exploitation on the black side, self-giving, sacrifice of one's own heart, self, everything for the beloved, for the Lord, is so high, so pure, so light, so brilliant. In a contract of equal partnership, there is no room for love. Sacrifice must be there. Then the question of love and affection can appear. Is that a clear statement?
No sacrifice, no love.
No sacrifice, no love. And Guru Maharaj says sacrifice is joy. The sacrifice of the highest degree is exacted only in Gokula and Vrindavan. So the question of love can arise only there. So when we speak of love, we're speaking of that. No sacrifice, no love. It's the partnership. You give something to me, I give something to you. According to the degree of sacrifice, of dedication, there is love. Dedication is the foundation of love, the structure of love. Dedicated means whatever I can do, I will do that. That's what dedication means. Without a dedication, no love can stand. So with the greatest autocrat, Sri Krishna is the greatest dedicating agent, Radharani, Mahabhav Swarupini. Mahabhav Swarupini. You could almost say, Radharani has no conception of self-enjoyment. None. There's nothing in her heart that is not dedication and sacrifice. That is why the greatest souls who have ever existed are worshiping her. She is dedication and sacrifice personified. Heart-melting quality. Mahabhav means the greatest magnitude of hunger. Hunger in its fullest form. Infinite hunger to eat everything. But what is that eating? Giving. an absolute lolium for giving. Can't give enough. She wants more and more. So much is given to her, and still she earnestly feels herself to be in need. No, I cannot live without more food. This is the nature. She feels, I can eat so much, and you are only giving this? It is a particle. How can I be satisfied with this? When her hunger has no limit, every foodstuff seems to be of a very small quantity. Others are feeling, yes, we have enough. She wants more and more. She has unquenchable thirst. So this is the positive quality of lolyam. Infinite hankering for service. Never like, okay, check. I love God. Check, I'm doing service. I did some service. Of course, I'm not comparing, we're worshiping this, and we are practicing, and it is good. But we should worship and realize what is that acme of devotion. There is no satiation there. It's not, I love enough. That's an oxymoron. That can't possibly be true. There's always a hankering to give more. Guru Maharaj said, the devotee wants to give to the point of his own extinction, to fully sacrifice his entire existence for the Lord. He really hankers for that, but he does not die. He becomes more and more glorious, more and more that direction of glorious, of self-giving. It is real. And every so-called glorious of this world, it's not real. It's just something that looks something like what is real. You follow? So we are worshiping this very much. Pujala ragapata. Pujala means worshiping. We must not forget here that eating means serving. I want that it will be my responsibility to do every service to Krishna. Otherwise, I cannot live. The whole of the service must be given to me. And Gurudev and Srila, everyone had, this was a very famous thing that Srila Saraswati Thakur said. All the service is mine. I am fully responsible for everything. And if someone comes forward to help me, then they are like, I see them as my guru. I see my guru coming. It is a wonderful thing to contemplate these high moods of devotion. Such hunger is likened to the hunger of this plane, but it is hunger for distributing herself. She finds no satisfaction in getting anything for herself, and hankers only to give of herself. And that is so sweet that Krishna himself wanted to taste that. He's saying her joy is 10 million times more than mine. Devotion is such a high thing, and he wants to taste that. In this way, she eats. Mahabhava Prema has such a consuming power. Power for consumption of rasa. And what is rasa? Rasa means an exchange of actual love.
Rasa means taste, right?
Yeah, it means taste. And that taste means the taste of devotion, the nectar of devotion was one of Srila Rupa Goswami's books. What is nectar? Giving, devotion. And you can't hear about devotion outside of these books and outside of this line. You can't hear of it properly. It won't be describing what is real devotion. We won't know what it is.
Can we also use it like, I don't know the part of speech would be, but like as rasa, as like the object of our, like we're seeking to have that taste.
Yeah.
That rasa, we can use it like as the object of.
Right.
Does that make sense? Is that?
Yeah, and the essence of that
Because
is
it's bitter at
sacrifice.
first and then slowly,
Yeah.
and then that's the rasa.
Yeah, right. Seems bitter to us because we are consumers of selfish things. But as you know, as Srila Rupa Goswami is saying in Upadesamrta, the sweetness, like you're saying, is bitter. The bitterness is because we have pitopatapta, like jaundice. But kinvadram anudinam kalu saiva jushta, gradually, by the process of devotion, that will be cured. That disease will be cured, and tadgaramula hantri, that the root of that disease will be destroyed forever. That's such a beautiful
I know, right?
thing. So lovely, right? It's so lovely.
So attaining that, so obviously we're not thinking about that so much because we're not going to attain that here, but that's our.
Yeah.
So that, once we get, then that leads us to self-realization, right?
Yeah, and more
Once
than
we can begin to relish that rasa, or that taste.
yeah, that
Then
taste.
that kind of leads us to.
Yeah, because when the full realization of the self comes in one's relationship with Krishna. So it's astonishing that in this process, which is really so nice, I mean, our life is really so lovely.
I know, really it is.
That there's nothing wrong, that it's not sinful. What we are relishing in the mundane world carries with it so much reaction. So much we must be brought to the center, and according to the degree of our consumption in the mood of an exploiter, that much must be felt in order to bring ourselves to some kind of ordinary humility and the action and reaction plane. But what we're doing in devotional life has no reaction because it's innocent. And yet it's so nice. A life of innocence, of not exploiting, is a very sweet thing. And when someone feels some kind of feeling about that, he feels so much pity for those who do not live in that innocent kind of environment. Even though we're so young and new in devotional life, still we can appreciate how innocent is this environment. We don't want to introduce any non-innocence into it. We have to be on our guard about that. Because we're young, we want to avoid things which are going to, again, bring us into a non-innocent mentality. We're very careful about that. This seed of devotion which has been planted by Sri Gurudev, that has to be protected. A seedling, a sprout, is always given some, special protection against the elements. So we are always taking care. Oh, this thing is not going to be good for my heart, for myself. So I'm going to be careful about it. These talks by Guru Maharaj are so condensed. So we're taking our time. I don't want to just rattle through these things because they're very deep. Deep, I mean, so fine. So they're like crystal. And it's, you know, we have to adjust our, it takes some adjustment of consciousness to contemplate these things. Rupa Goswami has given, so rasa, as your question, Damodar Prabhu, a good question. Rasa means giving. The feeling of giving, the feeling of unmotivated service. That's where rasa is. And service to whom? Service to the supreme good, Vishuddha Sattva, not to some junk. Rupa Goswami has given the stages of prema as sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anurag, bhava, and finally mahabhava. Mahabhava means only Radharani. She in whom an intensity of bhakti is found, which exists nowhere else. And she has appeared in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna together, to distribute this. What? What are we talking about here? What? Is that possible? Mahabhadanaya, most generous. Mr. Gandhi observed the difference between the ant and the elephant. If you give an elephant a standard of food to an ant, then a lack of ants will be fed by that. But if you give an ant standard of food to an elephant, it will be fed in an instant and felt to be nothing. Radharani is the elephant standard eater, and all others are ant standard eaters. Almost. The worshippers of that. We are worshippers. She is the essence of devotion. Heart melting. And Guru Maharaj said, so tender are the dealings of Krishna with Srimati Radharani and the Braja Gopis. So tender, so heart melting, real heart melting, not the other kind of emotional stuff of this world, but really heart melting. He said, will we throw that to the public? The ordinary public is banned from these topics. But in the infinite, there's no question of any want. As much as you can try to satisfy your fullest thirst or hunger. No one is feeling any, there's no dearth of happiness. So to hanker more is the qualification. But that hankering will be satisfied. But it will only increase also. There's no question of want. So go on increasing. Go on increasing your hunger, increasing your thirst to drink nectar. And what is the essence of rasa?
Taste.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
That is the essence of rasa.
So the highest rasa is the highest sacrifice.
Yeah. But I mean, these are so high things, but we are hearing about them to give satisfaction to our heart that some beautiful thing is there. Now, to be acquainted through divine sound with something so wonderful, so really heart-melting. It's heart-melting. When the devotees are shedding tears, I mean, like the high devotees, the real surrendered souls, it's because their hearts are melting about such things. There's nothing hard, nothing mundane, nothing. It's all wonderful, soft. All right, so we can continue this tomorrow. Boy, we'll never forget this purport to the 10th chapter of Upadesamrta given by Srila Guru Maharaj, right? So wonderful. Jaya Shri Shri Upadesamrta ki Jaya, Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jaya, Srila Om Vishnupade Si Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jaya, Srila Bhakti Radha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jaya, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jaya. All right. You can play the kartals. Is it too loud? It's probably too loud to play the kartals near the microphone, right? It's like very loud.
It's really loud through the speaker.
Oh, okay.
It makes the speaker like ting, like
Oh, yeah.
scratch, yeah.
Okay.
Crap.
Okay.
Maybe
You can play.
if you want to play the cartels,
Or just move the mic away.
and then I will switch the input source
Okay.
from this stuff.
Oh, but then you'll be able to still hear the song?
What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here,
We
man.
did this the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was too loud. He did something over here.
Okay, great.
Can I play the Mindanga?
Huh?
Can I play the Mindanga?
Yeah. There's outside volume of mridanga and inside volume of mridanga.
So basically, I just need to go.
But it's
A
also
little softer.
Okay.
Yeah, a little softer. And practice those basic ones. Don't be in a rush. I mean, you're doing good. I'm not, please, I'm not saying it. But practice those basic things. Get them perfect. And use them when you're playing. And then as you go, this is the way for everyone learning how to play.
Okay.
Just keep to the really basic steps and get them right. And then as you go, you will be, and also I wanted to recommend, and I think I did already, but I can't remember, that on those videos that came from the Thailand festival, they're very nice mridanga classes by Sundar.
Yeah. Thank you, Didi. For some reason, when I play Mindanga in front of you, I get so nervous. I name myself. Okay.
I just stay to the real basics. I mean, they're all beautiful. And they're not basic, like they take time to learn. But the real basic structure of the mridanga beats, that has to be learned very well. And don't be in a rush to add a bunch of different things.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my advice.
Thank you, Didi.
And sit with Suda sometimes. Just show him what you're doing. And it's just really lovely. Really, I'm real happy you're learning the mridanga.
Beautiful setup.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. Because we don't want to abuse the mridanga. We don't want to abuse anything. We want to, I mean, everything can be, it is a service, and the mridanga is an expansion of Lord Balaram. So we're always using it for the Lord, very carefully in our consciousness, as with everything. And when we start noticing, oh, I'm thinking maybe others will be really impressed with me. I mean, it's practically, I mean, that's our disease. I mean, I'm not speaking about this in relation to you, but all of us. Then we become attentive to that in a prayerful mood, because to overcome the desire for pratishtha is real difficult. We can only do it by the mercy. We can call out for the mercy of our guardians. And then they will take us to the proper place. Otherwise it will be some kind of artificial abnegation that we don't even know where we're going with it. We can't replace that, but they can replace it. They can bring us to another consciousness, which is we will never regret leaving behind that painful hankering for prestige. Really, it's very painful. Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Nama
Hare Nama Krishna Yaravaya Nama
Yaravaya Madhavaya Krishavaya Nama
Yaravaya Madhavaya
Gopal Govinda Ram Shimadhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram
Didi Dari Gopinath Pranamah
Didi Gopinath
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Radha Shiva Sadi Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhakta Das Raghunath Hey Jai Gosai Kori Charanavanda Ajante Vignana Vistapura Hey Jai Gosai Kamui Parada Ajam Savara Pararenu Mur Panchakla Chandra Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniva Janame Janame More Hey Jai Gosai Jabe Bache Korba Raja Krishna Nichalila Purnapaka Anande Gula Hari Vajrindava Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Jaya Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Padma Koriya Hari Nam Sankirtana Kore Naratamada Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Bhakta Vrinda Shivasari Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Jai Sapadika Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai Jai Giri Raj Govardhanju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupai Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shh. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Saka Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Ko Kartal Ki Jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nittai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Kartik Vrata last day. Kartik Vrata Ki Jai. Nittai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Jai, Srimati Lekha Devi Ki
Jai Gurudev Ki Jai. Finito?
Finito, Dandavat. Dandavat, good morning, Bhima Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat, Bhima Prabhu.
And the mysterious viewers. Dandavat.
Mysterious viewers Ki Jai.
Jai.
Dandavat. Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev.
Jai.